Well, Wolf, before the Attorney General leaves office in the next couple of weeks, we expect he's going to wrap up a couple of matters on the Michael Brown situation. The Justice Department has been doing a pattern and practice investigation of the Ferguson Police Department, and we expect that they're going to announce findings, the Attorney General will announce findings that finds that there was a pattern of discriminatory policing by the Ferguson Police Department. Now, this includes the practice of doing traffic fines targeting minorities, and in some cases some of these people were not able to pay their fines and ended up serving time in jail. Now, in addition to that, at the same time they announce these findings against the Ferguson police, we expect that they'll announce formally that there will be no charges against Darren Wilson, the officer who shot Michael Brown. Obviously, those two findings will be a big deal to wrap up the Attorney General's tenure before he leaves.
So, what will they say specifically? Was there built-in racism? Right. We know Ferguson, Missouri is predominantly African-American, but they only had a tiny number of African-American police officers.
Right, and these findings will basically target the department for a pattern of behavior against minorities, especially African-Americans who live in that area. There was a lawsuit recently against both Ferguson and Jennings, which is the town nearby, alleging some of these same things. And Wolf, if the city of Ferguson does not fix some of these, we expect that then Eric Holder will announce a lawsuit against Ferguson for this pattern of behavior.
So Jeffrey, walk us through the legal process. How does this play out?
Well, this was really the most likely outcome from the beginning. It's very difficult to make a federal criminal case against a police officer under these sorts of circumstances. So the answer is there is no criminal prosecution. He is free to go. As for the civil lawsuit against the city, that will almost certainly end in what's called a consent decree, a settlement where Ferguson will announce that they will make changes in their police department, improve training, perhaps change hiring, perhaps even change leadership. But that is a civil lawsuit, has nothing to do with criminal law, and those cases, we've had them in Cincinnati, we've had them in New Orleans, almost always end with an agreement to change practices, not an actual trial.
I know, Tom, you've been covering, watching what's going on in Ferguson from the very beginning. How does this play out in your mind?
Well, I agree with Jeffrey. There's always been, this is a dual track, separate investigations. One's the criminal investigation of the civil rights violation against Darren Wilson, and we've kind of expected from the beginning that there was not going to be enough there to bring criminal charges against him. Separately, this is a separate investigation by a different entity in DOJ that looks at patterns and practices, so I think we kind of expected that they would find some issue to bring up in that case.
What about the mayor of Ferguson, the police chief in Ferguson? What's the impact on them?
Well, you know, Wolf, he's still on the job, and this is something that has been a bit of a problem between both Ferguson and the state and the county and Justice Department. He is probably going to be under pressure to either make these changes themselves or probably step aside so that these changes could be made at the Ferguson Police Department.
And as you say, a lawsuit against the Ferguson, do they have to pay a settlement? What do they have to do to resolve this, Jeffrey?
Well, that's really up to the Justice Department. It is an actual civil lawsuit, and then there will be negotiations about what is satisfactory to the Department of Justice that will address the problems. As I said, it could include the police chief has to step down. It could include that some of the police officers have to step down. Certainly, it will have something to do with changing the training practices and any sort of activity of the police department, how they interact with the population, that's all on the table, and the case will not be resolved until the Justice Department is satisfied that the changes are serious and really will address what they see as a problem.